seriously love listening to it. Hello, everybody.
You like that
What's
one?
up, people? My name is Ken and you're listening to Elegbete TV Radio.
Stay tuned.
Elegbete TV Radio. We are not just about radio.
Nigerian football
All
empire.
about connecting with
Top
people
blade.
and creating a community of great minds.
A lot of people shining in this morning.
Elegbete TV Radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen.
Aaron Toure.
This is radio.
Oh,
you
God.
never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the best in entertainment and sport. You are listening
I'm liking this
radio. This is radio like you never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio. Elegbete TV Radio, we dare to lead.
It's 9 o'clock, man. It's 9 o'clock. Next 2 hours. It's Friday. We are burning it. Ready, money? Felix Odili Orji. All right, they say I no go fit climb tree. Now, granted, they talk am not when you climb reach halfway, you can't tell people say you no go fit pluck waiting they talk. But again, person wey be say he brother or he right hand man they on top of mango tree, then they eat on ripe fruit. So if your brother na secretary for heaven, you know say your name he go dey for the book of life. And so it be. Now be the confidence wey Liverpool get. Say no matter what happen, come what may. We go always make sure say we qualify. And so they talk, but this one not be qualifying. And say they keep their most Salah. The Egyptian Messi, if you don't get Lionel Messi waiting for Miami, you go figure the one will come from Egypt to talking about Lionel Messi. It's sublime. And the word where you go people take describe him as he scored that free kick. We don't they used to run, but when he do him again, he still they surprise us because he too sabi. Even though they say so good, they name him twice. Now be Austin Okocha, they don't need to name Lionel Messi twice. One thing why no be say Lionel Messi, the way you just get the lion of the tribe of Judah for Bible. That's why Argentina get the lion of the tribe of the Abbey Celeste. That's so football be. Today, I say make I use my worry language, take cut into the show. I know, say when Liverpool matter critical, even money. This guy won't see for Instagram, those of now Instagram, they speak pidgin English. Yes. Normally, he knows how to speak pidgin English, but when Liverpool is critical, I sure say if his wife one day they pregnant, his wife they pregnant, and the Liverpool won't play Champions League finals, this guy, if it use the passion and love for Liverpool, follow go watch Liverpool. Why wife go to labor room? I pray make it not be like that because problem go do for those of us. But today we will talk many things. The list of the Super Eagles did there. On Sunday night we will go play against this dead rubber match, a qualifiers, but a friendly match on my because we already qualified, top of the group. And a dead rubber match. If now you be the coach, or now you be Jose Pesero, the manager of this team, how you could take start time. So in your comment section, I'm gonna leave greetings, all these plenty greetings, keep them aside. Today, be the manager because almost everybody for Nigeria, I just realized that almost everybody for Nigeria get one the very, very debilitating medical condition called I know your work pass you. That is the name of the condition. Doctors and researchers and even PhD people like the Maron Turego, somebody say, why they like to call me. So my former pastor, when I did Assemblies of God, one of the reverend, when we say I really like what were he named Reverend Aroture, that man, correct man. And then I break all the rules of if you are not baptized, you cannot do this. So no. Let the young man, let him do whatever he's doing. The Spirit of God can lead anybody. I don't know whether the Spirit of God will lead me that I shall, but I was just me. Okay, so I like that man. Rotary. and the rest of them. But let's move away from Aruture. Aruture say in all PhD, what did they do? Not be to do Bola enlargement to Nari material research and industrial system optimization. Say now they go take develop Nigeria. Don't of now we don't know. Industrial system optimization, that grammar big well, but what thing they try to talk be say for those of now we get chinchi, they go give them madiga. For those of now we get puff puff, they go give them full bread. For those of now we get just gari, they go give them beans. That be the thing where they talk. And those of now we get only hook, they go give them fish and big net and canoe and even paddle to paddle the canoe. And I be the thing where they talk. Hey God, if I be interpreter for village, I go keep village people will lie you. Just ordinary system optimization. I don't talk about this. I was past the person where they do Bola enlargement right now. But anyhow, now Friday with this, and on Friday we talk about this show. Say anything good, you can ask any question, you can talk anything, but no insult anybody because the community will they create here. So one of the things why they like now coming together. One of the major things I like to talk about a lot these days lately. Maybe we cannot the old, even though I look young, I'm 45 going to be 46. Now, how to make generational or transgenerational wealth. Many people don't live reach 40 or 45 like me. Their parents never sit them down when they talk about, you know, say you must know why we're not poor. In case you don't know, you must know why we're not. What make us poor? Why are we poor? What make it be say, grandpapa, great-grandpile, grandpapa, great-grandpile, my own pile like this. Me, you must suppose sit down when they ask your parents, like, what make us poor? What other people they do what we don't do? Because if you don't know where you they go, you better know where you they come from. If not a loss, you don't lose. So another thing, and they feed, they change. When I say now go church, break every shame, break every shame. Now lie, if you come up for church, the church sit you sing Balowoma, like saying love making on a day. You must know where they come from, waiting happen. Because anything where you want change, you must first of all understand the pattern. Pattern, they're very, very important. You must study pattern for your family. Some people know everything about Messi, Ronaldo, all the footballers in the world. But guess what? They don't know up to their 6th or 5th grandparents. But they know the word where Messi, grandmama tell Messi, where Messi did 4 years old. Some people, yeah, you don't know someone knows. Others who knows them. Noah, others Noah. They know everything. They were there when Maradona, they follow his girlfriend, they exchange cocaine. They know all those things. But about themselves, they don't know. You must know yourself. Oh, even Bible talk as say, man, know thyself. It not to say no other. It say, man, know thyself. So you must know thyself. Oh, I don't know, say me the right King James Bible. I also be die. Know thyself. Man, know yourself. You must know yourself. Those things, they make them easy so that when you sit with your children now, your current children, you're not going to make the mistake where your grandpile, great-grandpile, great-great-grandpile, and even your pile make. And so that they change circle. And just they talk. If all the roads, they lead to people falling inside gutter, take a right or a left turn or take a U-turn, then you go back. So everything will feel changed. And so that they change circle for life. Well, with that one, I welcome and I come the Friday edition of the Sports Buffet. Unfortunately, the way I can speak this in English, so this man will need enough to try out. So, Emmanuel Sebastian, it's Friday night, your show. Let's hit it and start running.
All right. Good morning to you. Good morning to the listeners. I mean, it's been a special week. We've been here from Tuesday till this very moment. And yeah, it's been fun all through. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's always joining on the show, commenting. I mean, we appreciate you guys a lot. And
how's the experience been for you? Like going from just Tuesday to not doing Tuesday to Friday. How's the experience been for you?
I mean, it's been good.
Is this something you always wanted to happen, or?
I mean, to be honest, I've always preferred an interactive show where you and someone else have to be in this. Nothing to say that I don't like doing it alone.
Yeah.
But you just have to have a parent. So I always wanted to do something like together with somebody else in the studio and all that. I mean, and it's you, with your knowledge of the game. In as much as you're presenting, you're also learning, from the conversations and from people contributing as well. So yeah, it's been a wonderful experience, and we hope to move on from here and long way to continue. Welcome again to the Friday edition of the Sport.
I guarantee you, it's going to be long.
quite a lot to talk about on the show today. Let's start off with Saudi Arabia. You kicked off with Mo Salah.
Yeah.
And their deadline is officially over.
And you're happy. For once, I'm saying smile on your face.
It's a relief. At least we are going to have Mo Salah for one more season.
Absolutely.
Yeah. From now to, I'm resigned to losing him next summer. Whatever happens, let the club just keep on looking at.
Some other players might do well, and Saudi Arabia was like, you know what, we don't need Mo Salah anymore. You know, when you have money, you have choice. The thing about money is,
do you think they will come back with him? I think they will. Is that player they would want to? Maybe the money might not be as big as what it is now.
I've seen a lot of football. What if he got his leg broken? What if something terrible happened? So Mo Salah might not get off the field problem. It does come across to me as if most Muslims, apart from Pogba, are very disciplined people. That's one of the things I like about Muslims. They kind of like carry themselves in a particular kind of way, right? Very disciplined. So you hardly have majority of Muslim players having all this beat my wife in the house or carry plenty girls or we're caught in the nightclub. You hardly Sadio Mane, Mo Salah. Most of the, I'm not saying there are not some. It's not a perfect word, but I'm just saying that they are most likely not the type that you would hear that kind of.
And he hardly gets injured, and he's fit. And he looks like someone who could play till, like you said, anything happen.
But he could play till 40.
Yeah, till 40 and thereabout. But I just feel Saudi will come back with him. My only issue is the money might not be up to this 200 because at the end of this season, you have just 1 year left on this contract. So the money might not be up to 200.
Obviously, nobody's going to pay 200 million for a player.
Or you might get a little above 100, which is still good business for Liverpool.
Maybe under 100. Maybe under 100.
No, I don't think it will be under. But keep our fingers crossed for that one. But bottom line is Mo Salah is staying for one more season at Liverpool. I don't see him leaving in January. But
if he gets a poor season, let's say scores 10 goals, and God forbid that's not Mo Salah anyway. But if he scores 10 goals and it's like his performance not really good, the money will drop. It will drop drastically. It would. Tell you.
Anyways, there's the AFCON in January.
Somebody's asking, this Super Eagles game, is this Nations Cup or World Cup qualifier? It's Nations Cup qualifier. The World Cup qualifier starts in November. And this is a dead rubber. We've already qualified for the Nations Cup, but we have a last game against the team that will beat 10-0. So we just have to go, fulfill our righteousness. And that's why we're asking you in the comment section, please make your team. Like, be the manager of the Super Eagles and make your team. And we've already given you the thumbnail on this live. You see the team list. You all have the team list. So select your players.
We'll come to the Super Eagles at some point on the show. But let's stick with Saudi Arabia. We have a couple of Nigerians who are also going there to, like we all say, like most people say, rather, secure the bag.
Nigerians have been going to Saudi Arabia since the 80s.
No, I'm talking about this period.
No, this period,
it's the top of the whole football world and all that. We have Vidal there who started it in this era. Played for Al Shabab, Al Hilal. Now it's Al Weda, same Saudi Arabia. Antony went there with Al-Fire as well, doing his beats on a low. I remember at one point where everybody was clamoring for him to come to the Super Eagles. He was doing so well at Trabzonspor at the time. I think he had one cap.
I think he missed the train against Cameroon. One friendly game against Cameroon. He missed the bus. That's all I can say. He missed the bus. The timing wasn't. See, life is time and chance. So the timing wasn't right, and he missed the bus. And then after that, Nigeria was now transiting into a new generation of players, and like his age was.
Yeah.
When you're not Rojamila, come on.
All right. So then Henry Nyukuru joined him at Al-Fire recently. Another player who had a lot of promise. He didn't live up to the expectations of the Super Eagles. He started his career so well in Belgium. I remember it was a hot prospect at that time. Went to Everton, didn't work out. Monaco, went to Greece, back to his best spell was at Galatasaray. He had 3 spells in Turkey. He won the league as well, but now he's gone to Saudi Arabia. And the latest Nigeria player who's gone there is Xavier Godwin. Portugal, he was invited to the Super Eagles in the last friendly against Portugal and Algeria. But ever since we've not seen him with the national team. But now I saw a statement yesterday that he's gone to Saudi Arabia with Al Akdoud. Yeah, so the latest Nigerian to be going to Saudi Arabia.
The funny thing about this Saudi Arabia is that as we talk about all the big money or the usual, it's like Saudi Arabia is like living in Lagos. So if you live, okay, let me use Warrior. I come from Warrior.
So what's the benefit to Europe? You wanted us to talk about this yesterday. What's the benefit of this to European football and what it brings?
The way European football is a very massive benefit, have a massive benefit to African football, especially we on the West Coast, because football, I've always said it's like football is the crude oil of the poor that is not regulated by government. So it's it can kill you, but it can also make you. Same way with crude oil. You can have crude oil in your land, and that could be the reason why you die, why you live wretched, because you can't fish, you can't farm, you can't do a lot of things. Somebody else from outside will come and take it, and you will not make money out of it. So football, I would say it is 0.001% in every 10 years from a football academy or a football club to go to Europe is 0.001%. And it's been proven. That's also what is on the FIFA book anyway. But I've been saying that since like forever. So one of the things you look at with the Saudi Arabia introduction into the game again, reinventing, because people make it look like Saudi Arabia just started playing football. They didn't just start playing football. They've been playing football since forever. I know that there are Nigerians. Some have played in Saudi Arabia. People don't know that. Some have played in Saudi Arabia. I know Nigeria who played in Saudi Arabia in 1978, in the 80s, and in the 90s, and all that time. But what they've done is, I think that the human race is filled with progressive copycats. So that's why they say there is nothing new under the sun. What happened was, once Dubai started reinventing themselves from the 80s, where those three brothers, Dubai, the Dubaians used to, the Emiratis, they used to go back for food. And when they travel, like the ones that have money, the prince, the royalties, when they go abroad, they get insulted a lot. You people are from desert, you people are dusty people, you are smelly people. So when those three brothers came, that moment where the three of them sat down in the desert, in the plain dusty desert of the Emirates, and read their Quran and swore that their children would never be insulted by anybody in a foreign land anymore. And they started, they believed, and they told God that we want to be the catalyst of change. And then between 1982, that was 1982, 82, they traveled in 78, came back and, felt the insult from the Americans and Europeans, and then it was time for them to come build their own. Between that time and now, look the phase that Dubai have gone. If you are older, if you're in my age bracket, in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s were filled with, every time you hear the word the Arab League, like not the African Arab Spring, or the Arab Middle East. If you hear the Middle East, the first thing that comes to your mind is terrorism, bombing. Like, you want to go to Iraq, bomb. You want to go to Kuwait, bomb. War, kidnapping, raping, maiming of people. But as Dubai was gradually evolving and becoming the biggest real estate in the world, Qatar, I worked a bit with Al Jazeera, Qatar, Bahrain, were also doing the same. Because we have a progressive copycat nature, every human being, you can be very comfortable living in shit, in slum, until two of your neighbors buy a car. You start hustling to buy a car. You can be also comfortable there, then you now hear that they left. Let me just use Lagos as a metropolis to describe it. You're comfortable living in Ajegule or Makoko. The other guys are living with you that you all know you grew up with have now moved to Leary or Ikeja or Magodo or Maryland. You know what? All of a sudden, Makoko or Ajegule start being uncomfortable for you. I don't know if you've experienced that, but I grew up like that. And it's not like you're jealous or you hate their progress, but you start saying, if they can move, I can move too. Remember, this place was comfortable for you like all your life. It was okay. I can move too. So you make the move. And then maybe you're like, 1 year, man, my guy don't go VI, I don't still lucky that, you move again. And then also that's how the jackpot train comes. Like, you don't go abroad. If you can, I can. So the same thing, they start saying the UAE talk to concrete jungle, concrete real estate, virtual reality becomes real reality, okay? All of the things that used to be dreams, thoughts, ideas, when that becomes solid reality. The roads were paved, the houses were new, they were building tall buildings. Americans were laughing, Europeans were laughing that these buildings will fall. They don't have the capacity to do it. But when they start, drilling their oil and selling it at premium rate and investing it back, not sharing it with politicians, they're stealing it and go and putting it again in European and American banks, it became a reality. What they did was, okay, we want to build the tallest building, bring in the best American and the best English engineers. These people used to laugh at us. We will bring them here to bow down and work for us and be our slaves. Not in the slave form, but you're working for somebody, you're a slave to the person, because he who pays the piper dictates the tone. He tells you what to do. He tells you to bow down, you bow down. He tells you to jump, you jump. You know, all those things. Now they build Dubai. Saudi Arabia is the father of the Middle East, whether you like it or not. Saudi Arabia is a father. And this is not one of those fathers who wake up and say, you know what? I want my children to be better than me while I'm alive. Maybe when I'm dead, they can be better than me. But you know what? We have more money than the UAE. We have more money than Bahrain. We have more money than Qatar. And then the trigger that I've just changed everything was what Qatar did with the World Cup. I mean, the original budget for the FIFA World Cup was $4 billion. When the US in 1994 spent $3.6 billion to do the World Cup, it was outrageous. It shook the whole world. Who does that? And then France did $4 billion, and then South Africa hit the 5 billion mark in 2010. And people like, oh, an African country can do that. So it was not a competition. Then Brazil did 6.2 billion, and it cost inflation and the rest, and so so on and so forth. But when Qatar hit the 125 billion mark of hosting the World Cup and also showing to the world that you don't need to travel from Lagos to Kaduna, separate matches like that. In short, two stadiums can be next to each other, and you play match. You can take a train and stroll from this stadium to the next stadium, and a stadium can be this beautiful, can have AC inside, can have comfort, even in the heat of the desert. And we're so rich, we're so powerful, we can change the laws of man. That the World Cup that is meant to be June, July cannot be in November, December. I don't care who you are, but we can do it. So Saudi Arabia got triggered like, oh, our children are doing these things, but it's not a joke anymore. Let's create the future city. That's the line. And in doing that, they knew that the most powerful tool, this is where I get angry with my country. The most powerful tool is to make your image globally accepted, to get love is sports. They didn't just start with football. They tried boxing. They brought a lot of boxing, hosted a lot of UFC fights. But what they realized was that this is a come and go sport. Boxing is a come and go. So you can book, a fight is going to go on on Sunday night. You can book in and fly in on Friday, stay Saturday, see the game on Sunday, and on Monday morning you fly back. For those who are private jet, they can even fly out that night. They want something that will make people to buy into Saudi Arabia. Come in with your money. Because the way the speed at which the world is going into fossil fuel is going to green energy means that even the crude oil might not be useful to them again in the future. It just be there. It will just be on the ground, right? So they needed to create a system that would attract people. Now, the people are talking global warming, global. Why don't we create a city that will accommodate a certain number of people, that there is no emission, nothing. The whole place is dynamic. It's what Christians used to tell people in church that heaven will be like. Let's put it on earth. Don't forget that biblically, the Bible, the Christians will say that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Some people in Nigeria pray for that. People in Dubai, people in Bahrain, people in Qatar, people in Saudi Arabia are not praying for this. They are letting the will of God be done on earth as it is in heaven. So they're creating that. But creating it, building a real estate of heaven proportion, is not enough. People need to come. So that's why they invested in football. But what's the benefit for European football in this? Victor Osimhen was signed from Nigeria, 3.7 million euro by Wolfsburg, for a player who did not really have grassroots street football experience. Yeah. The team he played for in Ikeja, he only played 4 times for them. And, he was sold by Coach Chinedu. Now, when you look at that deal, even though they didn't get to collect all the money because of their own mistake, when you look at that deal made somebody like Coach Chinedu, who would never have dreamt of building his own house, to have his own house. And people like Shera, Ario, and the rest of them build an empire out of it. They now have box to box and the rest. So you see how that has changed the economy of certain group of people. Aji Gafar so was part of the deal. You see all of these people now. The economy grew out of one small boy. What these guys have done with their league is it's pumping money into the English league. And that money is not, a catalyst to them to spend. Liverpool made close to over 100 million for Anderson, Fabinho, and who again?
Just those two.
Just those two. If they had done Mo Salah yesterday, would have been 200 million. They were willing to go up to 200 million. So you see that kind of money coming into your treasury. What it does is people will pay tax. The company, the Liverpool as a company itself will pay tax to the government. It's a catalyst for growth. So it will be recorded against the money that they made from the English league. And also, Dubai, because they want to be seen all over the world, they are the ones that bought Man City. They almost bought Manchester United. They are investing everywhere. That's like closing the gap, right? The gap between Europe and the Middle East is now being closed. It's no longer only selling arms or buying crude oil for gas and the rest, or bilateral agreement again. There is another way to cut the diplomatic tape, to amend diplomatic relations, which is football. And that's what Saudi Arabian League is right now. Some people say they will be like China. But let me ask you this question. I like to poor people, they always look forward to the day when people go free. There's this saying that we always say, what we say, people will not go to school, they happy when graduate not get work. Ah, Jesus. Nothing the sweet illiterate like a graduate will not get work. When you go out, you carry, you wear that suit and tie in the morning, they go look for a job, they go for interview. Then they silently pray, God, make this guy not get the job, because if he get the job now, they're not gonna let us rest on this area. Say because we don't go to school. When you come back, about how far you go show interest, about how far you gonna get the job. But I don't get the job. They will just smile, say, I don't tell you, school. With the school we can't go now. So what will be the difference between him and me now? But when I don't go to school, I sit there at the shop my Gary. He don't go now, I don't waka. Nothing sweet. It's just like poor man, poor people. He nothing sweet a poor person to hear say one person will get money for the neighborhood don't poor, don't broke. Do one bad investment, he broke. Hey, they feel so ashamed we do party. That's the way the world is. So a lot of people might complain about all of this. Truth of the matter is money makes the world go round. I don't know. Those people tell you that money is the root of all evil. They don't understand. Okay, their interpretation of what the Bible is saying is different. The love of money is what they say is the root of all evil, not money. Money outside all things. Money makes the world go round. So for as long as Saudi Arabia have it, they will use it to clean their image, which is also the right thing. People say, why are you using football to launder your image? What's it there for use? Blood of Jesus. That's what they have. Because the rule of life, it starts from where you are with what you have. And that's exactly what Saudi Arabia have done. So those people were waiting for the Saudi league to crumble. My question to you is, what do you go gain? Chinese league crumble, yes, but it has put China on the map. People talk about China now because of what happened with their football than they've ever talked about before. Previously, people thought that anything that is made in China is counterfeit. Yeah. But today, we now know that China have the best engineering, the best bridges, the best roads, the best real estate. They are at running America and Europe, not the map again. So it that tells you that if it is about putting them on the map, the football achieved its goal. You are thinking, oh, Chinese football is supposed to run 100 years like European football. That's not their agenda. That's not their plan. Shala, the guy that owns Sporting Lagos, had what's that his tech company? Is it Flutter? Paystack. He had Paystack. Some other people will say, why did you sell for 200 and something million? Why don't you leave it and run it forever? But that was not his goal. Would you not say it's a failure because he sold? No, he's not doing football. Probably this is the real thing he wanted to do. So I'm not sitting here telling you Saudi Arabian League should run for 20 years. But if they have achieved what they want to achieve, they've ended up hosting the World Cup. They've ended up, making Saudi Arabia the world's next biggest real estate, and people are not coming in to come and stay, buy into their real estate, and they think, oh, we don't need football anymore. We're not going to be doing this European scam that they're doing, because European football is actually a scam. It's a pyramid scheme that doesn't work. Nobody goes into it and come back successful. Everybody goes into it and come out broke. Look at all the series of Europe. Do you think it's coincidence that no English rich man have an English club? Think about it for a minute. You think they don't like to do business? People say, English football is very, very successful. He's financially successful. Who tell you? Name one person in European football that are coming as a billionaire, own a club, and still ended up as a billionaire. That's why Glazer is trying to do what they do in America, because in America, sports is profitable. It's trying to do, but it's not working because there is no method. There's no science to the madness of European football that makes you successful. Now, I've been saying this since forever, but people don't listen. There is no science to it. So when you're trying to put a proper science to a fraud, it not going to work. European football now approved fraud. You come in. Roman Abramovich was 9th richest man in the world. He came in. By the time they sold Chelsea, they took Chelsea from him. It was 149. What happened? They say new tech billionaire came in. How many billionaires do we have added to the world? New tech billionaires came in. That's right. Now lie. Football takes from you and it doesn't give back. So
wanted to purchase Manchester United.
I told you from the one that man he likes. That man and Bernie Sanders are the same. So
I don't know why
there's Bernie Sanders in America. Every election cycle you hear Bernie Sanders is contesting for presidency. He's been contesting since I was wearing napkin. I can't use the word diapers. Since I was wearing napkins in the late 70s and early 80s. Till today, he's still contesting. He's never won any election. That's the same thing with Jim. Jim Ratcliffe have been wanting to buy a football club in England since Ken Bates bought Chelsea in 82 and 84. Till today, he's still trying to buy. Make it get out.
Anyway, talking about Saudi Arabia, I mean, we hear that they're looking to get one slot in the Champions League.
Yep.
You know, I think that would be another milestone we'll be able to get that. But you know, do you see that happening? Is this something you would want to see? Does it does it disrupt anything? Do you want to see at least one team in Saudi Arabia with the whole money, the whole stars that is going there now? Do you think if they come with the money, UEFA will bow and just give them a slot in the Champions League and all that?
I think the pride of you.
Because I heard Seferin came out, talk down on Saudi Arabia to the whole money spending and all that. So do you think that will happen?
I think I like the strategy of Saudi Arabia. You can't have money and not be arrogant. You can't have money and not be ambitious. Yeah. Okay, when you have the kind of money that they have, you start doing things that arrogant people do. That's why when poor people play this humble card a lot. Poor people, you're not humble yourself. God resists the pride. God not resist any pride. God like proud people. Nothing God loves more than proud people. As a matter of fact, God hates humble people. In the context of who you use it, God does not like humble people. Humble people is like that poor man, Lazarus, in the Bible. Not the one that Jesus brought from the dead. That one that dog was licking all his soul. And that's a humble man. God does not like that kind of people. You can be godly and broke. Remember that. So basically, this is what Saudi Arabia is saying. Saudi Arabia is saying, come, 90% of your investment in Europe, we control it. We, the Arab, control it. This is your football, so the major team, now the ones where we don't own, our companies now they sponsor them. So what's the deal? We want a slice of the pie. We're coming to the table with XYZ. Eugene Wild said this. I want to take it from one of Eugene Wild. He said, women start by resisting the advances, by refusing the advances of men and end up resisting their exit. Now, this is not, I'm just taking it as a prototype and I'm going to use it for my analysis. I've got nothing against women, right? But that's what Eugene White said. So if you have issues, if there's a feminist or a woman there that wants to take it out with Eugene White, not women. But when you look at almost everything that has happened in football in terms of change, in terms of structure, everybody first refuse it. No, we don't want VAR. We don't want goal line technology. We don't want this. We don't want that. Eventually, it comes to stay. So now I'm going to sit here again on top of the pyramid and say, I've seen this behavior before. It's not new. Some people swore that Qatar not goes to the World Cup. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. The World Cup. And they've won the bid, but they will not host it. When they give David Beckham 150 million, remember, David Beckham was the head, the face of the England bid, and they won England. When they gave him 150 million, and the Queen knows that they would collect tax for David Beckham, they didn't come out his OBE from him. They left him. It was still David Beckham with his OBE, collected 150 million as the face of the Qatar World Cup. How do you do that in the first place? Is that not sabotage? But guess what? Money changed the rules. Now, poor people and law, they for now. They make law for poor people. Laws are not for the bourgeois. It's for the peasants. Okay? So I think that we'll get to a point where they will first resist it. And then when they think about the money that they are bringing in, when they think about the money, when I played football, you don't go on tour in China or US or any Australia to go and play preseason. But the Premier League, for instance, and some of the European clubs now have extension. They don't do proper preseason anymore where you go climb mountain, you go, build your fitness. They do fitness in a gym. There's a science guy, there's a tech guy who does not know about football, but he knows what to put in your body to make you fit for the whole season. There's some short trainings and some liquid and snack bar that you will eat that'll keep you fit. You no longer need that climb mountain for 40 days, like Jesus Christ is fasting 40 days and 40 nights. Science have evolved. If Jesus comes this time, don't go fast 40 days and 40 nights. You go there on social media, they perform miracle on social media. You go do TikTok live, they perform miracle. So when you look at that, you say to yourself, I am willing to wait it out and see how it goes. Don't forget, Italian Super Cup have been played in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Italian FA Cup finals have been played in Saudi Arabia. Some competitions have been moved to be played in Saudi Arabia, and they enjoy the money that came with it. Right now, it is the English people that are making money in football. The rest of Europe are struggling, especially if you have anybody who live in Italy, ask them this question. Italy is living under worst recession that we have right now in Nigeria, Italy. And it's gradually, that many Italians are being blocked in the south of France border, the border between France and Italy. Ask people in Italy, they will tell you this. From migrating into France because of hunger, poverty. But the media will not show you that side. Europe, if they get packaging, package there, fake it till you make it. When that same thing begin to continue and you extend into France and you extend into Spain, eventually they go vote. They go tell whoever is in charge, say, oh boy, we need this adding money. English people will not know the 419, the scam what they do, but we need this out the money. We don't have the kind of media power that they have. We don't have the kind of resources that they have. We need this type of money because the way English teams are going, let's face it, the kind of money they get, in 3 windows, Chelsea has spent over $1 billion. Does it make sense? Real Madrid in 10 years, they spent up to 900 million. In 10 years. Yes, 10 years have 2 windows in it, which is 20 windows. They spent up to that. But in 3 windows, Chelsea have already spent $1 billion. You think at some point anybody can match them? Nobody can match them. So that money would not force them to say, you know what, we need Saudi Arabia money, let them come. After all, you guys stop the Super League. We're not going to stop this one. We need this one. Football is a global village. Let's get it on. So they might resist it now. They might refuse it now, but they'll resist it later.
All right. Talking about teams, cup finals going to Saudi Arabia, CAF is not left out because the CAF Super Cup will also be played in Saudi Arabia.
Chicken, huh?
CAF Champions League champions, Al Ahly will take on CAF Confederations Cup champions, USM Algiers, and that game will play at the King Fahd Stadium in Taif in Saudi Arabia on the 15th of September.
The first time I heard the King Fahd Stadium was 1995.
Yeah, so you can't fork out for this.
No. Listen, money is the lubricant that runs the wheel of life, of progress, of nations. Then if you can't find the money on your continent, go find it somewhere else where the money is. Anywhere they have the money in abundance, go find it. Like I always say, I'm not going to jackpot, but all my friends I tell you guys, if you know that your success, your breakthrough is in the jackpot trade, by all means, make it happen. My own is not there. I'm not going to go work as caregiver. I don't have the skill set. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a tech person. I don't have the skill set to go do that. I have 3 children to feed. I can't cross the line and go and focus on going to school now, get a degree and go get a job. So here that I am, I can make it happen. I'm a struggle, but by all means, if the money is there, go get the money. People who criticize Saudi Arabia go to Saudi Arabia to go box because they can't even get people to buy tickets in their own home country anymore. In Europe, people can buy tickets to go what, £50 or 75 euros. They can't. So let's go to Saudi Arabia where the one sheikh will come with 500 people and pay for everybody. This one will come and the like 3 check will just, how they call it, check or whatever they call them, sheikh, whatever, would buy the right to the fight and say, okay, let my friends come. I want to hang out with my friends. Usually they do this thing for the fun of it, like, oh, we're eating Nkwobi at a lounge. Let's just go. But in Europe, it is serious. Work all those long hours and you want to go pay £75 or 75 euros for a fight. And tomorrow you'll go work again. And then you go work 12 hours to even make that money. If you make the money. So it's different. The world is changing. The things that were cast in stone, like this law, that's so it be, it never happened. When I was growing up, women, they go work, they go bring money, they go bring salary for men. When I was growing up. women then they go work for company, come back. The highest work where women they do back in the day when I was younger was a teacher work. And teacher work was more of a humanitarian work than really to feed family. It wasn't necessarily to feed family. I don't know about people whose parents were teachers in the 80s. Tell me. One way or the other, see they take out the bills, right? But it's changed. Women are directors now of companies. Women are MD, CEO. Women are managers of banks. Women are top shot. Women earn more money, 10 times the money that their husband earned, and it's okay, right? Times have changed. And if we accepted it, what is wrong with Cav? That's a slice of cake there.
Yeah. Go and have some.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you have any comments to take before I move on to the next.
Yes,
one.
there is plenty of comments, and YouTube is buzzing. I'll tell you what, YouTube is buzzing today. Everybody's here. Everybody that matters in our ecosystem is here. I wrote to Erik say, Chief, no worry, we no go use. Okay, so I think I've read that one. Tell me that Samuel say good morning, senior man, good morning to you. Asan Agada, he said if we know can't get Gary or Big Bros, Moku Shapote will get. We must get something. My mom used to say this to me that the God will create you will provide food for you. Hunger need the key person. Now luxury the key person. So there's always going to be something to eat. Since the bomb is, I never seen somebody die of hunger, even in South Sudan, in Eritrea, in Somalia. Now, the appetite for luxury, you want to live above your means. Now, it keep us faster than HIV, AIDS, and malaria, and the rest of them. Asan Agada said, this man, he say, some people know wetin Messi mama tell him when he did for 4 years. That's true. You know what? They front of newspaper or viewing center where the man used to go. Hey, if you hear something say, you go shock, like your soul go run. You say,
it's fun, though,
but you sit there.
Or you hear bullshit opinions.
you if somebody don't. I don't dare where people they argue about football. What's it called? Ikota shopping complex, that front. I went to Uncle Paul Musa's wife's shop, Panalet, right? I went there, so I was on the fence. I was looking at it. I won't buy shawarma, so it was just outside. And one guy said, "Oh boy, make I tell you, now Okosha teach Ronaldinho how to play football. I get the video when they teach him how to do leg over, how to do snake bite. Now Okosha teach him. The coach for Paris Saint-Germain call Okosha, tell us say we don't sign one small boy come. The way the boy they talk the thing, it was you would think that he was the kids manager of Paris Saint-Germain at the time. He was there when all this thing happened. And guess what? More people they support him than the other guy where they say no, not be so. Ronaldinho went to under 17, was at Nigeria 99. He'd already submitted this thing before he had a coach. For where? That whole crowd today side. Like people, this show we used to do like Hataku, where we would talk nonsense on air, but people they believe it was a caricature of what people do in front of newspaper, right? I don't argue before say Alexis Sanchez is better than Ronaldo and Messi put together, and I won because that's the way society is. That India beat Nigeria 99-1. Tonda Balogun scored the only goal. So it's just in some variant version of that story, Pele scored the only goal for Nigeria. So that people believe those stories, and then you're like, oh Jesus! This kind of it's a funny argument. So to talk about what the Messi grandma tell her, that's more. Asan Agada says, pidgin English perfect, grammar. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Monica he said this Super Eagles game. Okay, I think I've answered that one. Monica say I hope we are able to really beat Sao Tomé. Guys, anything less than 5-goal win is not a really good beating. But anyways, 3 points should be. We don't already qualify. We don't need 3
points to top the group if wins their game. So
okay, we've qualified.
We just need the points to top.
What does that top in the group make us? What does it do for us? Just pride.
Group where they this out, we should be topping the group.
Okay, we will win. So Wale Mus says this is his squad. Goalkeeper will be Adele. Right back will be Tyrone Ibue. Center back will be Jordan and Bassi for center back. And left back will be Oyemechi. Central midfield you will have Wilfred Ndidi, Onyedika, and attacking midfield right, Boniface. Attacking midfield left, Lukman. Attacking center, Orban. and striker Osimhen.
Just want to play all of them.
Koshila.
Put all of them. You don't want to take chance. Go see all of them for feed.
You want key people. Just could give the gallon of acid now. But they pop for
Start all of them.
now Sao Tomé would squeeze everybody into the table. Maduka has to say, I agree with you. If Mo Salah scores less than 10 goals, his value will go down well. Liverpool would have let him go this season. I thought so too. Divine Tokeye, he say, I'm in a very good mood, so I'll give 2 or likely Pep lineup and Don Carlo lineup. Divine Tokeye says his Pep style will be Adele Ego, Ajayi Akon, Bruno Aina, Indidi, Samuel, Nacho, Nacho, in case those of you wonder who is Nacho. Joe Aribo, Boniface, and Osimhen. Marvin Barry say, one love, bro, one love to you too. Then the second lineup from Divine Tokeye is Don Carlo, if he's playing a system that is like Carlo Ancelotti's, in case those of you are wondering who is Don Carlo, he will play Uzo, Aina Ekong, Torungaga, but what's that guy's name again? Torunariga. Okay. What tribe is that? Is that his jaw? Is that Jaws? Where the hell is it from? Torunariga. Okay, Torunariga, Basi, Oyeka, Oyeka, Aribo, Nacho, that is Yaracho, Osimhen, and Boniface. Additional of say you are spot on. Sports, especially football, is the best way to sell and change your narrative. For the best, Europe and US also do sports washing. Thank you very much. Edosa, that's a very lovely name. Tohegbe, he says, go straight, Elegbete, make we know waiting the man they do now. Which man? Which man is that? I don't know. Side say Saudi has enough money without restriction to invest in football, and their aim is not for profit, not improving Saudi as the next destination, but improving Saudi as the next destination to spend money apart from Dubai. And those that came back again say, waiting the man they do, and we fit contact the man. Which man you talk about? I don't understand. Which man is he talking about? Asanagada say, this man don't kill me. Say, Jesus gonna do TikTok live. Yes, now if Jesus say, yeah, you don't say go do TikTok live. He say Jesus will do TikTok live. Adding joke to your analysis, make it more fun. Keep it on, big bros. Thank you very much. Hiengwe Robert says, good day, boss. The only issue I see with this team is the number 10. Without discovery, a creative midfielder, let's forget winning the Nations Cup. What is your opinion? I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. I can't argue that one. They say not argue against facts, and you just put the facts on the table. Christopher Martin says, thank you, sir, for always educating us. Thank you very much. Marta Austin says, who's to be this Super Eagles coach, Jose Pesero? Johnny Gaffa from London says, Victor Boniface is our most complete striker. He needs to play, in my opinion. I agree with you as well. I will play him, even though people think that Osimhen should start, but I'll play him. Here's Patrick say, all the people who want Salah to go shop money, now so Liverpool go struggle, then una go banter us. Banter is for sure now. Maduka has to say, when is NFL? Last season when Salah play for now, they're not struggle. When is NFF going to solve the issue with the coach? Abi, when we supposed to be prepared for that? They've solved the problem already. Where are you? You living under the rock? Have you gone to visit Flintstone? I don't know. Pasero don't agree to pay cuts, so it's gone from $70,000 a month to $60,000. He's also agreed to cut down on his foreign staff. He also agreed that he would work as both the Super Eagles coach and the Chan Eagles coach. So what else again are you looking for? We are going to have him till after the Nations Cup, then we'll review again. So, and then they set the target for him, semi-finals of the Nations Cup is the target. He gets the semi-finals, he has a mission accomplished. If he wins it, that is Jehovah overdue. That's just the thing. In case you're not aware, you are aware. Man can also say, bros, answer me now. Who be our coach? I just told you. Good to hear, but the coach, not to Sabi, the coach Sabi, our players not good. Wale Mus say good job, thank you very much. Patrick say, bros, we talk yes, say they go postpone league. The country itself, they on strike. Maduka has to say, no need to review anything. We need a more technical coach. You don't have the players. You know, Nigerians have a keke napep, but they are telling the mechanic to put the engine of a Ferrari. It's not going to work. Okay, let me go to Instagram and see what you guys have. Sorry, Emmanuel, I'm coming, but let me take the ones on Instagram as well. They are just as important as YouTubers. But please, if you're on YouTube, please click on the like button, and if you've not subscribed, do well to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much. First off, I've seen a humongous number today. This is massive. Not seen this much number in a long while. But please click on the like buttons as you view what we're doing here. We have 2 hours for you today. We're going to be here till 11 o'clock. Saviki, Victor Malalu, in case you don't know, is also a PhD holder. A fantastic one, but he usually to the cook at least in there they do penis enlargement. Saviki says, you are right. It was like then because of the Iran versus Iraq unending war. The terrorism, the world scene has its root from Arab nation. No, it has its root from America. It was the Americans who went to Afghanistan to train people who became terrorists. They trained them, used them to fight against Soviet Union. What would they put the fact on the table? Well, use them to fight against Soviet Union, promise them things. When they fight, when they bring down Soviet Union, they not left them hanging. They left them with ammunition, bomb, guns, and everything, but they deprived them of money. Now, when you have all those things in your hand, what will you do? Will you not use it to make a living? After all, they say start from where you are with what you have. What they have was bomb, gun, chemicals, and the training that America gave them. Americans created, CIA created terrorists, CIA created drugs. So let's not put it in the Arab. The Arabs were, if you go back to the ancient time, the Arabs were always the welcoming type. When Jesus had a problem with Herod, where they cannot go? Not the Arab country, they cannot go for Egypt. When the Israelites not get food to shop, where they go? Not the Egypt they go. So of every time, in terms of rescue, the Arab nations have always rescued people who were in trouble until America was formed. America was not part of the countries that God created. They created themselves, and they became that from 1776, and it became the worst thing that's ever happened to the world. So Victor Morales say, I tell you, they will even tell you not be to go school, not to get job. I think that's illiterate. Illiterate, nothing sweet illiterate, like make educated person not get job. He just balance. I say, at the year they do my organizer thing, they feed my children. I say they go school. The school we can't go now. What they call it and do nothing. They still not get job. They work in here, they check the bench you. Mr. Sugar wants to say, Elevator, your loudspeaker will make English people not arrest me. No, just tell them, say, just tell them, say, this is one of the guys you guys should not give visa. This guy that's talking now, mark him, don't give him visa. So show them my picture, self. Then they say, don't give me visa. Don't worry, if I get that the wants the money to spend, they don't give me visa. Or you won't want who will spend money for that country. That will become liability. Since Lima, I said not related to the show, but why do Nigerians hate a player who decides to represent a country of his birth? People have a right to their choice. Okay, Emmanuel said I should hold my thought on that, so I will hold it. Down till 23:10, he say, now wow, why's this thing jumping? Who sent you now? Who sent you? He said, now wow, we keep changing players. I know even Sabi, most of the guys on this list, Jerry. Sorry, no verse. I said it be. Yomo Tayo, this guy been consistent this week. Oh. He said, can we get the Saudis to invest in our league? We have one of our former player as one of their league. See, investment, then they beg for investment. It's one of the things that I tell people all the time. Investment come to you once you can provide value. Once you can, it's like, let me give you a good example with TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. You see, now I'm on YouTube now. I'm begging everybody, please subscribe. If one day when we get to like say 1 million subscribers, we will just sit here. We will get an email saying, yeah, we've seen your video, your live video is generating enough views. We want our logo to be on it. Now you see this black page, this back. Just put our logo there. Just put our banner there. Let it just be hanging there. And when you do your video, just put it like you went this mic there now. So somebody will come. If you go watch the Breakfast Club, okay. So the Breakfast Club is a New York radio station that now become an online sensation, like one of the strongest black radio in the world today. You will see that at the back, Revolt. Revolt is this person's company, Sean Cole, P. Diddy's company. You see it on the mic for a very long period of time. They removed it now because P. Diddy now sponsored the Drink Champ with Nora and DJ. What's the other DJs? Now they're not doing Revolt there. So It is your numbers, your value. What are you going to give Saudi Arabia? Is your league going to provide for them the opportunity for them to market the Saudi Arabia when they already know that you are addicted, your country is addicted to the Premier League, and if they put anything in the Premier League, they would also reach Nigeria. So Nigeria is not even a secondary or a tertiary market. Nigeria is an way afterthought market. But when we put our acts together, I mean, look at Rwanda, look at South Africa. BET came to South Africa. They can't come to Nigeria. But meanwhile, the best music out of Africa is coming from Nigeria. Doesn't that already tell you something? So once we put our acts together and put things together, then go the rush us. Then go the rush us. Man, about to.
All right. Let's move on to our next talking point on the show. And I will say the thought I asked you to hold on to. I'm gonna say shout out to Lima Tana. I think he's been always frequent on the show.
Yeah.
Comments. Yes, great guy. Met him at the stadium. That's the NPFL, one of the games in the stadium recently, and he approached me. And yeah.
Okay, before you go, let me take a few other messages from YouTube. It's about to say technically, coach, you know fit PMO. That's another side to the story. Jude Ifobwa says and share, guys. Yes, thank you very much, guys. Share as you're liking it, share it with others to view, to come join us. Monica also say, bros, you really think we don't have the players? We don't. Two things we don't have, and we should stop being overreaching. We don't have the players. Jude says, honestly,
our players are firing everywhere. So people
they're not firing everywhere. No, they're not firing everywhere. That's a lie. I'm going to break that down. See, to create a team has 4 departments, 4 major departments, or cardinal departments: the striking position, the midfield position, the defensive position, and the goalkeeping position. Yeah. So to have a winning team, you have to have a balance, at least average across board. What we have is a Johnny Bravo team. Do you watch Johnny Bravo cartoon back in the day? Johnny Bravo have a very big chest, wide, broad shoulder, proportionate head, but from the under ribs go down to the leg is tiny. So he's always clumsy, he's always falling, he's always getting things wrong. Now, when you look at the Super Eagles, the Super Eagles is spoiled for Super Eagles have actually all the attack that the whole of Africa need. The attack that the whole of Africa need is all we have. We have some that we are not calling. If they were from other countries, we have Seridesas, Paul Onuachu, the other guy, Terry Murphy, and a few other guys that if they were from, say, Benin Republic, Togo, South Africa, even Ghana, they will be super regular. We don't have. So in the last 10 years, Super Eagles have not had a creative midfielder. Defensive midfielder, Wilfred Ndidi has gone from solid to average. I'm sorry, it's my guy, but we're going to tell the truth. Defense line, we never ever get a good defensive makeup. Okay? The Oyibo War was one of the worst things that ever happened to this country. And they've not done well. Goalkeepers, this is the first time since I was born that Super Eagles does not have a goalkeeper. So in my early days as a child, there was the Fregenes, there was the Okala, there was the, other great guys who were goalkeepers. And then the era of sunshine came in with Peter Rufai. And we thought that you can never beat it because Peter Rufai was like NTA, you can't beat the rich. Okay? Until Vincent Yama showed up and said, Vincent Yama became like DSTV as against NTA. And became rubbish to us, right? Now, if you look at what we have, all the goalkeepers are like LTV. I'm sorry. They're like LTV. They're like Tiwa. Who wakes up in the morning and say my radio or my TV of choice is LTV or Tiwa Mitid? Radio Legacio, Tiwa Mitid. This is not your radio of choice. It's your last resort. Like, okay, let me not listen to this one. That's it. So you must understand. You must understand that dynamics first. So we don't have that. We have strikers. But again, remember, the strikers needs to be fed to score goal. Who's creating for them? Again, there are games where you will meet oppositions that are solid, that can defend very well, that can deprive you of the ball. Who's going to defend for you? We don't have. That's why Algeria beat us in 2019. That's why when we meet, you go back to, you were with me in Cameroon now. Yeah. When we went to Cameroon, that team was good. Egypt was sleeping. We shut them down. But when Tunisia comes, this team and their wing go just some of their key players. Put roadblock. Meanwhile, these guys had COVID for like 9 players in that team. Yeah. They beat us because we do not have a balanced team. The team in 2013, even though it was a ragtag, but it was a group of balanced mercenaries. The team in 2014 that took 2004 No, 1994. That took us 10 years to build, 5 years to build, was a solid team. The team in 2010, no, Ghana Nigeria 2000, the Ghana Nigeria 2000 team was a solid team, the most tactically astute team that Nigeria has ever provided since 1945. But guess what? We still didn't win the Nations Cup. But it was a good team. It was a great team. That was the most fluid team that we have, where players, Finidi George can go from a winger to a midfielder, and players were squad for choice. Good. But this current team, we get strikers, we get Boku. But if you get only fresh fish, you not get Gary, you not get rice, you not get pepper, you not get oil, you not get stove. You not go fish up, hungry go see kill you. Your fresh fish go rotting. That's exactly what we have right now. If you like me, you get barracuda. Now that's what we have. Okay, we're trying to make the best of what we have, but we really don't have it in complete form. It's like having the carcass of a car, no tire, no engine. Brother man, you don't have a car. Join the Trekkers Association. That's exactly what we have. So when I say we don't have a team, we don't have it. Again, now let's flip the script, because people always say we need coaches like Averena. Averena had $450,000 right now, 450,000 euros right now as a coach. Let's say he even cuts it down and says, okay, I want to take 200,000. We not go FPL. We're too broke. That's even the reason why our league is not starting. We're too broke to be able to do that. We're not rich. We're poor. Okay, when I was growing up, I wanted to go to John F. Kennedy because they use data steel company in their school. Because they use long balls, they can't carry children to go to school. But guess what? I was trekking like 2 to 4 miles to go to school because that's what my parents can afford. It's next to free education. So we must always understand that space. If we don't, we're fooling ourselves.
You look at that money for Averena and contrast or compare with
we were struggling. We had £70,000 coach, $7,000 coach that we couldn't pay for 14 months. We paid 7 months. We're still owing him. And then we practically begged. We arrogantly begged him like, oh, make we threaten and say we'll cut the pay. And fear we'll not even cut her down to 50. We were thinking he go vest, he not go take the job. Then we're going to bring a guy that will take $5,000 a month. Unfortunately, the man I agree, like, you know what? I have a plan. I want to put on my CV, say I coach for Nations Cup, because once I get up, and if I am lucky, I go and win it, I can go and coach any bigger country out there. And I also be respected in my country because, and then people will not know that it's not only Jose Mourinho that is the coach for Portugal. You understand this whole dynamics? We not get them. We not get them. This is not me just trying to be nice, or too blunt, but it is the truth. We not get them. There are attackers that people are afraid of in our team. But do you really think that if you set up a team, there is a midfielder that doesn't play with anybody? Alex Iwobi, the player that Piqué lost for market. Abi Nigeria, we say forget himself. Wilfred is a quality player, but he's lost it. Frank Oyeka still not find his rhythm in the team. We do not have a defense line. We don't know where Basi good.
Yeah.
What we see him in Europe is playing left full back. We want to come here and play him as a center back sometimes. We're confused. We don't even know. And then our goalkeepers be like ideas. A dime a dozen. Our goalkeepers will get to they be like ideas. They'll not be project.
All right, let's move on the show. Let's take that question from Lima Tana. I don't know, just give him a shout out for me. It's a great guy. I've met him a couple of times. Just tell us how a great time on that live. So, but he talked about something. Now, this is the young he was coming from. Caleb Okoli is a young centre back, plays for Atalanta. He's on loan right now at newly promoted Frosinone.
Yeah.
He's of Nigerian descent, born in Italy, split for them 21s and all that. Now, on his unveiling at Frosinone, he came out, he was asked about his international future with the national team and stuff like that. Then he was asked, what if Nigeria calls him for the African Cup of Nations? And this was his response. He said, I often talk to my parents about this. I think I'm lucky to have this double chance, that's the opportunity to play for 2 countries. But he said for now he's thinking about his career at the moment, but he is hoping, this is where the whole fracas came from us. He's hoping for a call from Spalletti and to play with the Italian national team, which is of the highest level in the future. If the call from Italy doesn't arrive, I could make the decision to play for the Nigerian national team. So it's more like Nigeria is the second choice. Now, a lot of people are having, it's just like Tony Rodriguez right now. General was all over him at that time. He wants to play for Germany, and stuff like that. Even though he has come out to say, he did an interview with he put out the content on him. So he came out and said that he wants to prove the fans wrong. The fans that have been accusing him that jump Nigeria.
He
even
not
though
go
it's a
fit.
lie. That was
He
what
not
he
go
said.
fit, and he not happy play ball.
That was what he said. So it's just like something similar to this, but at the end of the day, we've called to Noriga. I don't know if he's gonna apologize, but he said it's a lie that he didn't turn down Nigeria and all that. But this young man, Caleb Okoli, is more like putting Nigeria as a second choice. I mean, he's played at the 21.
But if you have,
so a lot of people are having a go at him.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that's what Limatana is 69 is talking about. So why is everybody having a go at Caleb for saying, for putting Nigeria as a second choice? That if it's you put yourself in the same shoes and all that, because Nigerians are attacking him. Okay, we don't need you, sir. We want you. Stay your English, if you come back. People went as far as no Nigerian coach should even call this guy again, this and that. Say Nigeria are put for second choice. So why are people attacking him? Do you feel it's right to say?
When I was growing up, this statement I'm going to make now is going to get me into trouble with the Ijaw people. But remember, my stepdad is an Ijaw man. I grew up. As a matter of fact, people recently just started knowing that I'm not an Ijaw boy. So I grew up as like an Ijaw boy. People thought I'm an Ijaw boy. Nigerians invest Momo vest like Ijaw people. You know, there's this saying when I was growing up, they say Ijaw people need to get sense for that on the dry. Now, this is not a fact, but sometimes Ijaw people invest Momo vest over. Now, one way that they think. I like to deal with the root cause of problems. I don't deal with the symptoms because the virus will still be there.
Yeah.
Children that are born abroad to Nigerian parents. Have you people in Nigeria ever sat down to think about the dialogue that they have in their homes from a child? So I keep telling my kids about Warri like it's the greatest place. My children are looking forward to go to Warri. To them in their head, Warri will be like Disneyland. I know they will be disappointed when I take them to Warri. Like especially my daughter, because that one no personality. My daughter's expectation for Warri is like, oh, we're going to everyone. And next year, you know, I don't tell them say we'll go to Warri next year. Dubai and Warri, like we'll split them into two weeks here, 2 weeks there, right? Because of what I say about Warri. But let me tell you the dialogue that goes on in the 90% of the diaspora one. I want to say 100% because that's the blackest estimate. When these children were small, the parents always say things like, Nigeria, that place where which day, no, don't let Nigeria happen to you. God forbid Nigeria. These are the words that they hear growing up. In the house of an American household, America is a city on a hill. America is the greatest city in the world. America is a city that saves everybody. America is the police that police the world. America is the country that takes care of everybody. So you grow up taking pride in your country. That's why the most ignorant group of people in this world are Americans, because they think that every other person is looking up to them. Now, the Nigerian growing abroad have an identity crisis. He is not originally of that country by DNA. Even though he was born there, he had to tiptoe his or her way around to get accepted. He needs to work 10 times harder. He needs to be better, even in general work, not only sports now. And people who live in abroad all year, they will tell you, verify this thing. Now, this person grow up, you now want to bamboozle them, you want to emotionally blackmail them to choose Nigeria, like to be patriotic. Meanwhile, this guy goes on social media and see call Nigerians who are living in Nigeria, cursing Nigeria and a zoo. They don't go better for Nigeria. Because this is now his open classroom for education, for him to even know about Nigeria. And he's hearing all these things. He doesn't have a first time. I can tell you that Nigeria is the greatest country in the world. You know why? I've been to 60 other countries. I'm back. Some 4 times, 5 times. Some I've stayed 1 year, 2 years, like that. Different places. And I've also lived in Nigeria. I don't tell you this is the greatest place on the planet Earth. But guess what? This guy doesn't live here. He doesn't even know how the air is here. He's on social, fundamentally, his parents told him that because you grew up and you start asking, why did you move to this place? And they give you, have you not seen Gina Yashire's comedy? Have you not seen Yvonne Audrey's comedy about what happens in their home and the conversation? So when you grow up with that conversation, that mentality, don't forget that passion, love, and everything comes from your mindset. Yeah. The thing that was inculcated in you growing up, every human being is programmed. So there is not a person in human existence that comes in and already have a software in them. No, humans are like phones. When you buy it, it comes with a little. Thank you very much, Johnny Gaffa, for the gift. They come with just a little to keep you going. And then as you go, you start downloading applications, you start, installing things that will make it function and maximize it. So these children are born, they know that, okay, my parents are Nigerian, so that means I'm a Nigerian. But they are black. And then the software they keep feeding them is, do you know how I suffer to get here? I don't come here, don't come and mess it up. This is the best place. That useless Nigeria. Those are the conversations they have on the phone. When people from Nigeria call them, they comment, oh, now die with Nigeria is bad. Oh, I tell them, I say that country there, and I go suffer. Oh. These are the things that these kids are hearing, and they are growing, and they are forming their bias. They are not old enough, thinking, I'm not more Italian, I'm not as much an Italian like every other person. And then you start berating them. Who is he going to choose? He's going to choose Italy. Italy has given him under 17, under 20s. Italy have provided the school, provided the facility to train him, provided everything. If at all he's gone back to Nigeria, probably maybe just on a visit, and they see things on the negative side. Johnny Gaffer said, I would never claim England first because I know history, but each to their own. This is you. Mm-hmm. I was raised in the same England, but I've never liked England. You listen, England is the most boring place to live. But, when I say it, people are like, shut up, don't say that. Yeah, it's good. A country that is built on the back of hard slavery, it's a good country. I'm not going to tell you that. The only thing that is terrible about England is their road. England road is just as bad as Nigerian road. I'm exaggerating anyway, but their road, for a country like England, their road is bad. And then their weather is also terrible. But they've got good food. They've got, do you think it is easy for a country for 92 clubs, 92 stadiums, they pack full every day, every weekend? You know why? English people, they are boring. Boring. It's boring. They are controlled. These people, English people are controlled. That's the kind of life. They're not the zombies. A lot of zombies live in the UK. But that's a topic for another day. So when this boy gets old now, remember, even the Bible that we say, train up a child. It didn't say train up an adult. Train up a child in the way he will grow, that when he's old, he will not depart from it. This boy has been trained in the ways of the Italian and told that you have to toe the line, you have to be Italian, you have to be this. He's old now, you want him to just love Nigeria. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Nigeria is the world to this boy. Italy is his goal. So putting Nigeria as an option is even him being nice, knowing fully well maybe he doesn't have the quality. If you go and read Zidane's book, Zidane said, in short, even though Olise's book is there, where Zidane, Olise said, the Italians believe that Del Piero is a better player than Zinedine Zidane. And Olise went to Zidane and asked him, are you hearing what these guys are saying? Zidane said, you don't have to push it. The rest of the world will see it. It's not a big deal. You don't have to force it, right? The world will know because it is football. You show it on the field. It's not something that is hidden. I'm not saying the Paris is not good, but is it not travesty to say that? But that's how much the Italians love their home, right? So I don't think that you wake up and blame the person. This is the one where they say, if you've not walked a mile in my shoe, you have no right to blame me. Again, there are still people like Johnny Gaffer, that have lived in the abroad, but would always claim Nigeria. That's a bold thing to do. If you're born and raised abroad, if the system swallow you to accept Nigeria he had. I think that Nigerians, again, on this side, have also not been properly informed, because I've been on two sides of the media now. I've been on this independent side where nobody tells me what we'll talk about, right? Even when I was on the other side, nobody tells me what I talk about, but I see my colleague being told, no, the paradigm have shifted. You have to talk like this, leave it that field. Nah, come out, to tell you talk like, you know, say that one, you know the year word, do head like smoking go. Yeah, that's how they used to say in like official meeting. So mine is different. But I know people who don't have my kind of strong will. Because when I come in, I'll tell them, why you they tell me I talk like this? You play ball. You, manager, you play ball. If you know the size of this ball, what they talk about, you know the size, you know the weight, how many pounds it be? You want to tell me I come to studio talk, you say that if you don't talk like that, you play ball. You if they give whistle, you feel control the level players. You know, so those were the days where, but not everybody is me. You understand? Not everybody is Michael Jordan, not everybody is LeBron James. Some people will totally lie. So you're not going to sit here and blame him because you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he had to battle with. When Bukayo Saka was asked why he didn't choose Nigeria, he said, all my life I've lived in England. Yeah. I've known England. But this Nigeria that you are talking about, I don't even go there. I don't know it. How do I play for a country that I don't know? Nigeria is facing the problem of playing. Do you watch the Super Eagles play? You watch the Super Eagles, you see the body language of people like Alex Iwobi, people like Joe Aribo, the Oyibo word that we used to have. Do you see? Is it not crystal clear to you? These guys don't like this thing. They're being held hostage because their dream, the club the country that they hope will call them, didn't call them. They're just doing what could what could manage them.
Do you think that's why maybe this Caleb shouldn't have come out? Yes, he said he owns it with his chest, but do you think there's a way he could have
Again, now this is where I have a problem with us, because these same people who are attacking Caleb were telling me that Okocha spoke the truth. I don't get it. I don't get it. These same people said Okocha spoke the truth. So now it's hard for you to take a truth that hurts you, or the truth that give you wings to fly, like Red Bull is okay, but the truth that pinches you now is not a good truth. No, not so that truth. No, they didn't segregate against truth now. If the truth hurts it, that if you hurt it, so take it like that now.
Anyways, one thing that's certain, we have a lot of talented players out there in diaspora who, I mean, if it doesn't work out, I mean, we are not going to sit here and say Caleb, it shouldn't work out for him with Italy if that is his dream.
I can't wait.
With Sports now, who's also of Nigerian, he's playing with Sports now, but he's playing for the Italian under 21 as well. So we can't sit here and say, like this story Rodrigo now, he wanted Germany, he's back. A lot of people are referencing this. Maybe saying later that this guy will come back, and I say we know one time, stuff like that.
Listen.
So listen. So you get the picture of that.
I've spoken, the former NFL president, I told him, this one, the good thing is, I don't wait for access to come to me. I find access. This current NFL president, he doesn't listen anyway. There's Unasa Majuba, this one is worse. I spoke to him, I told him, I told him, listen, the secret to the success of the Super Eagles, we all know them, but we pretend like say we don't know. Some histories are not meant to be changed. Not everything they follow change. Nigerians are competitive in nature. It is our DNA. Even the person will be your helper, you want better person. And you they do it openly, you need a fear. This is a country where you like to buy range while working for somebody where they pay you salary. Even though the person not agree, not want. I remember I bought a phone 270,000. My former boss, my former chairman, he felt bad. Like, you buy? But I needed a phone. That was the first time I was even buying a phone over 100,000 naira. My wife said, "Babe, you have to buy it." I did a job, Coca-Cola, 1.9 million. My wife said, "Babe, wait, what kind of life are you living? Every time you make money, you spend for everybody. You don't spend for yourself." I said, "What's a big deal? Come on." And I was like, "No, today there's a big deal. Let's go." We went to slots. And in my usual way, I wanted to buy a 60K phone. But I said, "No. A slot, Ajaye. Ilaje." She said, "Let's go up." I said, "Okay. Take the card." I'm sitting there. Let me be looking at TV. I say, I freak. TV, they freak me. I like TV well. Like, if you buy me one big LED TV, smart, very smart TV, good. But all the phones, and I just felt like I go get high blood pressure if I use huge amount of money buy phone for a low high. Why I go use this small phone achieve? I don't use this phone. This phone I buy 100,000 naira. Take do video, we get over 200,000 views. So why should I go and buy that kind of phone? She went upstairs and came down. When I see the debit alert, it was the first day I almost punched my wife, but I control myself. Because she was like, no, you can't do this. 1.9 million naira they give you. You don't need, this will not call for worry. This will not call for Potako. You just give everybody. Give yourself a gift. Buy something for yourself. She bought for herself, bought for me. It's okay. I was like, this is where the idea of this company came from. And I told her, I said, babe, I don't be buying 270,000 naira phone. I just do a little high where you do an interview. No, I'm going to use it to create content. That's where it started from. And I remember buying a selfie stick. You know the story now. And, but I went to the office one day, I put it down, not knowing that it was a Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge. I put it down. I went to do my shoe. My chairman came and saw it. So we get it for the night. I think his daughter just bought that phone. Came with a ball like 1984. Last, like almost 10 years ago. And then he didn't like it. It's like, how much will they pay when they buy the kind of phone? It's not your business. I don't work in your accounts department. I don't see your money. But hey, it wasn't nice. But I didn't care. I wish I didn't buy it anyway. But I didn't care. And I came out, I told my wife, this is for what you buy now. I'm not a marked man. It's a problem now, but let's move on. Before you know, the next year I'm not sacked. Long story short is that we are very competitive people. Set the right platform, we go win. This Super Eagles, you know what if we change the Super Eagles? We just need a coach that is bold enough. I thought Guavon would do that, but Guavon, try. He got all the support, he didn't do it. Just bold enough. That's what I love as Master Vikeshi. Get some home base player. Like this one, this game, there's nothing in this world where go make I not start and play 90 minutes. Me, I go take Divine Wanchuku play this game. He go start. And once he starts, I'm telling you, he's going to play subsequent matches. World Cup qualifier, you go play there. Because that's, and I go come back for press. If you tell me, why didn't you start Alex Iwobi? I tell you, the matches where Alex Iwobi the places when I like him. I'll try, like I've already thrown like 5 foreign players under the bus. These players become your core. Once they become your core, you're not the winner. Because the foreign-based players will like, oh boy, this coach not change. That's what West Ham did. That's what my friend Honor did. That's what Felipe Troze did. That's what Bob Frijo did. It all worked. What is wrong with us? Why are we going to beg people whose primary focus is they want to play for their foreign country? Nigeria is the alternative. It's like writing JAM, and you know your number 1 choice for university. When your cut-off mark not reach, they know how your second choice will do you. That be the school I really want to go. And so we know how these things work. Why they say when it comes to footballers, we now become moral gods. We now create a moral high standard that we don't use to judge other people in the same way that we judge the footballer. I don't think it makes sense anyway. But hey, we are who we are. Let me read some messages from YouTube and Instagram. Where did I stop? God. Johnny Gaffar, my guy. Johnny Gaffar, the vessel. Say that guy no reach to play for you. Adicom. East Studio. Where did I stop, man? Asan Agada say history of Bible they your head. No, I think I never reach them. Make I push the go small. I go so reach them. Honestly, our players are overrated. Okay, I think I never reach them. Marika also say, bros, you really think we don't have the players we don't? Then Jude Ifoboa says, honestly, our players are overrated. Marika Austin, except for 1 or 2, we have no world-class players. Okay, even only one I will get to be some Victor Osimhen. As I gotta say, how I wish all the good strikers are goalkeepers or midfielders. It could have been more better. We have more of strikers, 100%. I agree with you. Maiwa Micah says, do we have any creative midfielders as a nation? No, we don't. Hassan Agada says, history of Bible day your head, football and even politics. Now history, you know history. Now everything day your head, man. Your brain are fire. Thank you very much. This job be like law. So I worked in a law firm, Uncle Paul Musa. I think I learned more from going and observing Paul Musa than I learned in school. And why I say that is, so Paul Musa is one of those lawyers, one of those kind of people you go to school with. All of us went to school with these guys who like to groove, who play a lot, but they go always pass exam. Paul Musa is that kind of guy. And when I worked with him in that 6 years plus, and he's still my mentor to this very day, first off, he taught me how to argue. When I saw the result of the court of the tribunal, my mind just went to what he taught me some years ago when we started attack, and he taught me how to argue, how to win a case. And he always told me that the success of a case is in the pleading. So you start your presentation. How you do your presentation is what will convince people, the jury, whether you are a winner or not. And so when I go into an argument, I make sure my presentation is perfect. It was Paul Musa. Paul Musa gave me all of those teachings. And I also remember that you see play, drink, eat, talk, play. When he wants to handle a case, he go lock the office, lock the main entrance. He go lock him. Like say he not call work. Read, go through these proceedings because he doesn't want to make mistake. And he go rise up against a mighty company, go win. What the hell is this? So I learned a whole lot from just studying it, like studying Paul Musa, dressing, working on that. I don't read law. Engineering I study. But I worked in that law firm. I was just studying the man. Because at the time I now realized that I'm living solo. Everything I know is all on me. I need to learn from people. I need mentors. But I'm not going to I don't want Godfather. I don't want anybody to know I Godfather. I just want to learn from people. That's what I did with Alibaba. Let me go and learn from these guys. Like, What make them tick? What make them solid? And I think I learned a whole lot from Paul Musa. So that's what I do, because it made me understand that reading. But I mean, I've always had a reading culture. I've always had a library. I always like read things, but he just enforced the seriousness. And thanks to almost everybody that I've had who buy books for me, who teach me that reading is really, really important. One of them is Dida Aguno in the UK, always sending me books. I mean, that guy will send me books more than he will send me money. Asa Patrick say, bro, so now say Johnny Bravo team. Bro, say now Johnny Bravo team. But not true now. This should be cure depression. Invite your friends. I just want to say we don't have spine in the squad. It is only the attackers that are doing well in foreign countries. We don't have talents spread across the goalkeeping area, the defense, and the midfield. Only attack can't work. Eastern Studio say instead of the invite Amos Obasogi, they're going to invite that Imba goalkeeper.
Amos Obasogi, yeah, Ben Insurance goalkeeper.
Okay, the Ben Amos Obasogi. I thought that was the guy that they were going to invite. I was surprised that they didn't invite him. This one of them say your analogy, this spot on. We are just over hyping the Super Eagles. And Eze Patrick said, Eastern Studio, Sheyi Ojo is a good goalkeeper. He said a good goalkeeper, and I calm down, but I think I'll take Amos Obasogi over him anyway. Since it's very spot on, we don't have a good defense unit from goalkeeper and spine. And Eze Patrick say, the supposed open GoFundMe account for Nigeria, we broke that. Politicians don't make everything there. It's nothing left. Say, can we get goalkeeper from the Nigerian league? I think that Amos Obasogi is good. If you give him confidence, he would do well. Johnny Gava say, Caleb Okoli is not even this one finished. This guy finished me. He said Caleb Okoli is not even good enough for Iran. What Iran just did their own. They try copy. Yeah. They grow their life. Oh.
This guy remember under 21.
This guy
it's not bad.
He take David Catapult, shoots a whole country Iran. They will come after you. Say it's not good enough to play Iran. Not talk less of Italy or Nigeria. As I gotta say, big bros. Say you know Sabi play ball, but I'm true. I know Sabi play ball now. There's a Patrick. He said, Johnny Gava bros. Let's be honest. All the guys that came to represent Nigeria instead of their country of birth, now how many were good enough, bros? We are second choice, and it's not their fault. Johnny Gava said, there's nothing wrong with it if you are actually good. Right? I agree with you on that one. Asan Agada says that Eze will lose to England. They pay me. The West say no one play for Nigeria. There's nothing you can do. I pray we get Michael Olise in the squad. I don't think we can handle him. I don't think that boy is not coachable. We can't coach him. David Dynamite also a question. Why can't the NFF make a national team plan and structure to dedicate, let's say, 10 years to developmental football and prosecute it with our Nigerian coaches who are trained? The thing is, you need to have money to make a plan. A plan like that needs money. We don't have the money. That's just the basic truth. People might not. Yeah, the proposal is on ground. I told you now. It was the former minister Nadari. I said this thing. I mean, write this thing some years ago now, when Sani Lulu was still the NFF president. But the thing is, it's not about writing it. It's about, do we have the funding? Every other country that have done it, the government make provision for it because they will not monitor it. Unfortunately, we don't have. All this thing, what would they talk? I had a meeting, a sit down with Austin Igwamo. Austin Igwamo proposed a system that will work. That look, get coaches, get training centers in the 6 geopolitical zone. Make it not like say you want just come bring them. Beg the governors in all of these zones to sponsor the training center. We're looking for a left back. That zone provide the best left back from all of these zones. We bring them to the center and see them. Then we'll select the one that we need. But again, the killer of that is they will not travel to Europe. And then your left back, you will not see your left back playing as a center back or playing as a wide man or playing as a... Because when you both football grow. Mm-hmm. So some of the best talent you're bringing in, apart from the striker where they need, in midfield and in defense, they will put them in such a way. Well, we're not here when Mikel was a creative midfielder in 2003 and under 17. What happened after? He became a sit back. Yeah. So, Oyibo too, they watch. You see, these guys, it's a case of as the hunters have learned to shoot without stopping, the birds have learned to fly without perching. They're not there. Oyibo don't want to help you. Don't make mistake about it. Oyibo don't want to help you. Oyibo want to use you. If they can use you, yes, but they don't want to help you. So they're not there to save you, as they say. Like the Francophone African countries are realizing. You've been giving us aid since this for like 60 years, and we are starving. Please keep your aid. Peradventure, if you don't give us aid, we go feed ourselves. So that's exactly what it is. We need to grow our own, but we need a system. The Italians have their own, the Belgians have their own, the Dutch have their own. England eventually found out that they need to build St. George's Park. And look, since they built it, they've won under 17 once or twice. They've won the under 20s. They won the Euro under 20. They've gone to the finals of the Women's World Cup. They won the Women's Euros. They've gone to the semi-finals of the World Cup again after Sababi Robson took them in 1990. So you see that systemic and fundamental developmental plan leads to progressive result. The French people, when they wanted to grow, they look at what the Germans have done from 1990. They created Clanfontaine. And all of the best players that have come from France, Thierry Henry, Trezeguet, all of the best players, Bizarre Lizarazu, Kylian Mbappe, just name the best players that have come out of France, have come from that Clanfontaine Academy. Guess what? They've won the World Cup twice. They played in the finals 3 times of the World Cup since they set up Clanfontaine. So success is not by accident. Success is something you set a plan for and you walk towards it. It does not necessarily guarantee you will get the ultimate success, because Belgium have also done the same thing. They've not won the World Cup. But guess what? Belgium have made more money in football because of the export of the product. Kevin Hazard, Torgan Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Axel Witsel, everybody, Desassi, everybody that has come out from that Belgian structure came out through that program as well. So you may not win the World Cup because that's the ultimate, everybody is fighting for it, but you just might also become a world leading nation. Like Belgium became like #1 nation in the world for 4 or 5 years. So these are some of the things you need to look at. Like, oh, do we have that? It's a structured thing, not a person thing, a personal thing. First, we need to get a structure in place. We need to put policy on ground that will run it, because without a policy, you know, one of the things that I learned when studying nation, anything that is not captured in your constitution is useless. You're building a castle in the air. Anything that's not captured, that's not backed by policy, government policy, is useless. You're just wishful thinking. One bulldozer is like building without a plan in Abuja. We can't come for you.
All right. I don't know if you have any more comments, but let's.
There are quite a lot, and let me take them.
Okay.
Yamida might say also a question: why can't the NFF? Okay, I think I've read that one. See, they say Nigeria do not honor their own. Nigeria can't gain where they have not sown. Yamida might say. Question 2, follow up to the first one. It say, and have the necessary license to manage such teams. Then take stock of how well such team progresses and the success they make. I tell you what, Nigerian football will grow in quantum if we invest in our league, because most of the players that are hoping to run away from Nigeria to go play in Europe would not stay in the league. And if the league is profitable, if I know that if I play in Nigerian league, I'll be able to send my children to good school. I'll be able to take care of my family. I'll be able to build a house, ride the cars that I want to ride. I think that it reduces the run away to the abroad. Look at the Egyptian players. How many of them are really going abroad? Very few. So it's a lesser percentage. But for us, it is all the players that want to run abroad. And abroad does not necessarily mean Europe, Tanzania, North Africa, South Africa, anywhere but home. So if we fix our league and our league becomes a GDP grower, and there's a stable income. Let's say the minimum earner is earning 500K or yes, 500K in the league. People are not earning 1 million, 1.5, and the money comes as I went due. So you can plan, you can save, you can invest. Bro, our football will grow. Well, we don't have that right now. Furthermore, hearing what Precious says, but the creative midfield vacancy can't Ihanacho. It's not a midfielder. Again, if they make you a coach, now this is what a midfielder is. A midfielder. Kelechi Iheanacho is not a midfielder. It's a support striker. It's a second striker. He can't play as a midfielder. Yeah. No, that's not his job. Where you don't ever see him play as a support striker anywhere, even in organized structure like Leicester. You know the play as a midfielder. You want him to play as a midfielder in Nigeria. It doesn't have the long passes. It doesn't have the ability to work. First off, Kelechi Iheanacho, one of the most talented players in the team, but very lazy. So you must understand all of those parts of the conversation as well. Hassan Agada says, Chief, I beg, no chemo. We should be Asian people know they get sense if water don't dry. You know they follow this conversation well. Like the housewife will grow up, so I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, but then I say I suggest that because the cut and join we do with the team is part of the problem. I agree. Too, as why these foreign managers don't trust in the home-based project. I agree, but there's nothing anybody can do. Economy is a factor. Obaregere, he said,
will be different as well.
I think so. I think so.
The whole games of the Super Six as well. So
I think so, and he's always in the stadium. Okay. Yeah. Obaregere says that, but I feel if we have good coaches, we can develop our home-based goalkeepers. If we have good coaches, but the coaches go use their own money You they work, they never pay you for 14 months. You know what that means? The NFF that employ you do not provide you with accommodation. What could they put the blame where it's supposed to be? Where you want to stay? The reason Westhoff succeeded was because he had access to Vice President Augustus Ikomo. Do you know how stupid you would be to employ someone? Let's say this company now, my son is the one running it, or I'm the one running it, and I have a rich father, and I employ you. Instead of me meeting your need, you go take your need from my father if he's alive. Will you be answerable to me? It's not. And that was why, with his success in '94, have you ever wondered why a coach took us to the World Cup for the very first time? We didn't bring him back. He didn't resign, but we didn't bring him back. So it's a systemic thing, not a personnel thing. I keep saying it's not a personnel, it's not a coaching team. The problem is not a coaching team. It's a systemic thing. We need to fix the system. Sid says they don't even need to hear it. They can experience it. They see that Nigeria doesn't care for them. And Johnny Gava say, I hear you, but every case different. Growing up, my parents told the issues of Nigeria, but made sure we knew who we really are and the blood we carry. You see, your parents are an exception to the rule. And I also mentioned it earlier on. That listen, not every parent are like that. I know people in Warri who come from Warri who are in this Lagos. Every time I go, I hang around them and their children that are Warri, that useless place. I've never said that about Warri. I'm very proud of the place that brought me up. Warri looked terrible. But listen, that's how I grew. That's the place that formed me. I love Warri. I tell people, I prefer calling myself a Warri boy than even offering my certificate. Like, I have this one, I have that one. No, it's not a big deal. Maybe you go my my LinkedIn profile, where all Nigerians on LinkedIn have like 2 million certificates. I'm the only guy who doesn't have a degree, he doesn't have a certificate on LinkedIn. I don't need it. I'm a proud Warri boy. But no, I know people, my friends in this Lagos, so Warri don't cast, so I please be like, Kovu, now wish you. That's your business. That's how you see it. So there's an exception to the rule. And your parents, Johnny, are an exception. And please, on my behalf, give them a very big hug and a high five. Tell them I say I love them. And they raise the perfect gentleman, a man who is good enough to represent Nigeria anywhere in the world. You mean that I say, even me, they shame for my fellow diaspora people. They talk too much and badmouth the country. And realistically, you can never be kind. You can never be king in another man's land, no matter how good you are. That's the point. Have you seen Nigerians talk about Nigeria? This is how Nigerians talk about Nigeria. People that I work with that have managed, managed the system, favor that they manage, go abroad. If you see the rubbish that they post on social media, I can like, what's wrong with this fool? You there, America, you talk shit about Nigeria. America have the highest amount of homeless people. Is that a country that care? America have the most incarcerated people in the world. They are not the most populous country in the world. So what are you really saying? Don't show me the good though, because I also know the bad. Now, the same way I can show you Banana Island, I can show you MNS State, I can show you Uyo, I can show you some fine places in Nigeria. Say this is how everybody in Nigeria lives. That's not the truth. But hey, don't come and run me down. That's the way some people do. But hey, that's what Johnny Gaffa said. I will never claim. Okay, I think I've read that one. Johnny Gaffa went on to say, I don't really mind what Caleb said, though, because I understand. But in my own opinion, it's not good. It's not that good. So I'm not forced. As an Agada says, sir, I'm sorry, I never go England before, but I'm not sure if them get bad road. I don't believe that. Johnny Gaffa, please come here. Johnny, come and answer Agada for me. If England no get bad road, I will send you 75 gigabyte data. Johnny Gaffa, please comment on this one. England, the road good or the you sure Yemi Dynamite? Is the road in England, is it good or bad? Sid says, this is what happened with fashion. OGs, no. Okay, Sid says, the secret, you have to raise the team mixed with rugged home base. The two teams, 94, 2010 teams had a balance of home base and foreign base players who understand the Niger game. Yeah, Michael, where have you been? He said, we are too emotional on so many things. Obaru Igere says, players like Obasoji or Bendel Insurance should have been invited. I think so too. Let me say NFF. Tell me says, or your left back will be in Azerbaijan Division 2. Oh, Jesus Christ. This guy is killing me. Is Patrick say, national team plan. Does Nigeria as a country have a 10 years plan? Sports can't function properly without functioning government. Let's realize that. Look at Morocco. Morocco started investing in football. They got to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Their women got to the finals of the African Women Championship. They just started playing. Not be rocket science now. Not be rocket science. Tell me, last MPFL player that made it in Europe. Please tell me. The talent in Nigeria is in NLO, not MPFL. And then let's go to NLO and pick them. Tell me, say we are not ready. Say the football isn't talent-based again. It's structure. I agree with you on that one. Tell me, say your best players in the league couldn't make it in Libya. Why? What's the problem with the MPFL? The truth is they are not good enough. I agree with you on that one. Ezra Patrick says, tell me the players that are good enough to good enough go to academies so they can travel abroad, because those agencies make money too. Like Boss said, it's a systemic thing. Tell me exactly, the best players are in academies and very low leagues, not MPFL. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I just have to say, no one will respect you if you don't respect where you come from. It's like going to an interview and talking down one on the place you work. So sad. So unfortunately. Every time I say I passed some place, I thought I was back in K2. I had to check well and be sure I'm not dreaming. No, just give me the word. Is the road in England good or they are not good? So that Asan and Agada go know. They say I don't know my own hometown, place where I grew up, like the place where I go every day. I have more families in England than I have in Nigeria. Oh, this guy started the joke for them. Every time I say, now the nice view people they snap put for social media. England too have their shortcomings in infrastructure and economic issues. God bless you. Come and say bad road there, no one leave you everywhere you go. Right? They follow my sister. Oh God, I didn't let me go to Instagram. Hey, Yummy, bad road they follow you like MTN. Oh, God of heaven, sorry. Where did I stop on Instagram? I can't remember again. Sissiko will come here like say one can take us. 69 Lema says we close our door where you be like fat Aquaman. Wear 5 shirts, come here, let them see you here. Okoloko. Sami stage is it thanks Sebastian. This is our creative director that
hi guys.
Came here disturbing me. Bought one very massive television yesterday, not let us hear what again. I tell you not go work, it's not the West TV. The guy out of this place. British now, see, now British boy be this British boy. Oh, England not go the rock on Nigeria costume. A British Britico, complete Britico, British Chris.
Yeah, man.
Crazy guy. Okay. Yomotaya 1407 says, please, is it we can't get to the level of the South Africans and the North Africans? Say South Africa, that the hosting of the World Cup was the greatest thing that happened to them. But don't forget that part because it created the facilities that they are not enjoying. Okay, Yomotaya says sports development ain't rocket science now. We even have some so-called sport lovers in National Assembly. Can't they sponsor a bill to turn sports as a leisure, turn sports from a leisure to business entity? They will. Only I say, Uncle E, I will start the home-based Eagles if I'm the coach. I will do the same thing, but they decide to do what they want to do. Timothy Odux once says, but Victor Moses played well for this country. Is the only foreign-born Nigeria who gave his best to the national team. He grew up. It wasn't foreign. Victor Moses is not foreign-born. Victor Moses, now Friday can't ever begin. Stop this nonsense talk where he doesn't talk like Nigerian boy. He doesn't like say because Mikel Obi they speak with British accent now. You can't say they're born of abroad. Stop him, Benin boy. This is this guy. This is so Benin hustler. Divine Wanchu should start that if he's invited. His name. He wasn't invited now. John Dosu say, boss. Okay, he said in England, soccer is seen as an entertainment too, but in Nigeria, we don't see football as entertainment. We don't even see it as anything. We just sound like, oh, and they help. You know, one club chairman told me one time, we easy to take boys off the streets and we'll feed them twice a day. Idiots. England road is not that bad, but their road is so tight. The road is bad. They can't give me gist here. Okay, so man, back to you.
All right, so it's our final lap on the show. Let's talk about Super Eagles qualifiers. But before we do that, let me just
The friendly match.
Yeah, let me just run through some results of some European qualifiers. Yesterday we saw games: France against Ireland, France 2-0. Netherlands against Greece 3-0. Czech Republic 1-1 against Albania. Poland 2-0 against Faroe Islands.
This team me no go kill me. They talk about Falai. You know, remember Falai? Sunday Falai.
Yeah.
You know, but I think
He's in Georgia now.
Clubless.
Yeah. So
Played for 3SC. I remember him very well because I was part of his story. The guy with Freestyle I played for Kevinton.
Yeah.
Kevin's father was my former coach. You know, so when they were pushing him, I was like, normally I'm not against him. I like him as a person. I mean, that's like another Taiwanese. But all these kind of children never reach, and I use the word carefully, children, you never reach to play for the national team. We're making the national team too cheap. This is Ghana Trump was inviting. Today is clubless. Mike can say many people don't want the system to work because they enjoy it, benefit from it. For the national teams to work, the NFF and the MPFL must do things to work. I agree with you. That is say, okay, take a break that one. All right, go ahead.
All right, so Serbia won 2-1. They lost at home.
Stanley, watching the Mary join us. You know they sleep. Canada, not be night in a day. See Stanley.
Kazakhstan lost 1-0 at home to Finland. Denmark 4-0 at home away. They won at home to San Marino. Slovenia 4, Northern Ireland 2. So those are the European qualifiers we saw yesterday. And we also saw some African
Wait. I want to ask somebody. Yomotaya says, bros, you they stay long for YouTube. You forget us with the Instagram. That's not true. My Instagram I did the most. But today I have over 40 people show up at once. I've had over 100 people now on the YouTube. I'll give them a chance now. My one Mike can say many people. Okay, I think I've read that one. Let me say many people making the NFF noise are agents that want to cash out. Don't mind them. Okay.
All right. We also saw some qualifiers before we head into the Super Eagles in the African qualifiers. Angola, they've qualified for the AFCON.
Yeah, congratulations to them.
0-0 against Madagascar. Ghana too, they qualified 1-2-1. Home to CAR, Algeria 0, Tanzania 0. Tanzania, another African country that.
By the way, CAR is Central African Republic.
Yeah, Central African Republic. Tanzania 0 against Algeria. Both teams already qualified. I mean, massive one for Tanzania. The clubs are doing well in Africa. National team will be in AFCON as well. Niger.
I think I should go to Tanzania and go.
Yeah,
should we go to? We should go to Tanzania, right?
Yeah, to be really good.
Let's plan a trip. Maybe early next year, or I don't know. But let's plan a trip to Tanzania.
Yeah,
I just want to go see.
We have John Noble who went there recently.
Yeah, let's plan a trip. Maybe 3 or 4 of us go to Tanzania.
Yeah, Niger 0, Uganda 2. So those are the African qualifiers we saw yesterday. We'll be seeing some pretty good games today as well in the Euro qualifiers.
I hope they have good food in Tanzania.
They should. There should be a Nigerian food. So
no, I don't want Nigerian food. Their own food.
Okay.
Cameroon food was good. Cameroon plantain, sauce, fish.
Yes. Ah man, I remember that one restaurant in Cameroon. Good food. This is not Nigerian.
You did ride with us.
No.
Sorry.
But the food was good.
We're living like king in Cameroon.
I agree with that. So let's talk about the Super Eagles.
Christopher Martin, the Victor Moses, na Benin boy. You don't know him. I mean, know him.
What's it saying?
It says in a Kaduna boy. Yeah, he stayed in Kaduna, but a Benin boy.
Well, that's. I know he was born.
Why would they avoid that topic? He's the son of Friday Gareba, former Bedell Insurance player, former Flying Eagles player.
We all thought that he lost experience.
Lost experience. The papa did back of my school, back of points, back of Ecobit there. And then papa the house there. What are you people? Why are you people for me like? See, we don't know the truth. Why we always like to paint Nigeria black? They suit everybody. Why? Beg.
All right, let's wrap up the show with Super Eagles, and we are getting set for that game against Sao Tomé on Sunday. It's in Rio, 5 p.m. kickoff. I mean, one thing I've noticed from the whole content I've seen around with Super Eagles, pictures, training pictures, it's how neat the Uyo environment.
You've not been to Uyo?
I've been there, of course, but it's been a while. So I'm just the maintenance now. I've been saying how they've been able to keep that place neat, keep the stadium. You will see the smiles from the players that, Abuja, or even Lagos. They want to continue with New York because that's the impression you get. The smiles, his surroundings is so clean, so neat, and say massive shout out to the people in New York. I think they have 3 stadiums now.
Three fantastic stadiums.
Rio Township Stadium and the Nest of Champions Stadium. Gospel Pablo Stadium. So I wanted to just say that before we go into the topic. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No. I mean, I was.
So clean and the players.
The stadium is being managed by Julius Berger. They have a grass husbandry where they groom the grasses, even the training pitch. Last time we went there, they were changing every small place. I have to bring the grass. Isn't that what I prescribed for Abuja? People were on social media insulting me. Would they plant grass for Abuja Stadium? Like would they plant corn? People bend back. Oh God, Nigeria, my country. If I talk now, the side of the talk. Oh God. No, so let's just go. I beg. What did they call her? Chooks. He say he was born and brought up in Benin City. Forget they cannot mind all this Mugu. They talk with them. No. You more tired. The men they follow with the like. That's why we keep it at the deceive now. See, bro. So the major problem with our sports are caused by sports administrators, and believe me, journalists as well. Okay, tell me the thing with journalists do, because you have to like put that thing, because people would like to blame journalists. Tell me one thing: journalists, I talk say make we no get good stadium. Journalists, I talk say make the stadium not get sponsors. The clubs not get sponsors. Journalists, I talk say make you know they go stadium go watch match. Journalists, you're blaming the wrong person. It's not anybody but government. There is no government policy that drives sports. Like I said before, there's no constitution. There is no policy that drives any industry. The industry is living in a vacuum, and it not go work. Because when you go to those when you go to company, if you've ever tried to market anything there, you go understand the problem. When you go to those business offices to go discuss Nigerian football for money, and somebody who tells you I'm willing to give you $20 million, but what is the policy driving this industry that guarantees that my money will come down? Tomorrow, if I put this money, somebody else will not come again as a sports minister and prescribe it the way they did Shehu Diko. Then you will understand why we are where we are. Okay, so don't blame journalists for what you don't even know about. That's not thing. Journalists report everything they see. Give them good events, they will report it for you. So it's not about journalists. I mean, I've been on this space for a while. And again, you the fans. Let me give you a good example. Somebody go put video of naked people online. When I give her 2 million views, I give you an interview of some of the best coaches in the league. How many views will I give them? You're not going to take responsibility for our roles. You can blame journalists. What do journalists do? You're not going to say it costs money to do those content. That money not reach for me to take Jackpot, go start abroad, the enter boss, the snap picture, they take the paper on her, the insult on her, say Nigeria and Zoo. So don't blame journalists here. We don't have anything that the journalists will work with. That's the problem. Don't blame the journalists. It's not because I'm a journalist. I know that there are some that are not doing well, but let's be very honest. Do you have a policy that drives sports? Any country will not get policy with the drive sports. Sports not going to grow. See, Coach Ayere that just joined us now. Coach Ayere was begging for CAF costs to be done. Nobody listened to her.
Yeah.
If to say we get a government policy that says training of coaches must happen twice every year, if not, we're not going to release XYZ money, we're going to do it. He got Dubai. He never even said Dubai. He never know how to speak Shukran, which we thank you, to Karim drivers. He don't get 2 UEFA licenses. Not the Europe he go, not Dubai he go. He don't get UEFA C and UEFA B. Now he's working on his UEFA A and then UEFA Pro. So what are we saying here? You can't blame the wrong people just because you want to do. You know they watch porn. I mean they watch them. All the people, and it's a $300 billion industry. Now my grandfather will not die. They watch them.
Let's talk about our team for Sunday. Let's set up a team. How do you prefer the team set up on Sunday against Sao Tomé? Like we all say, it's a dead rubber game. We just need a point to guarantee top spot in that group ahead of the AFCON next year. We are already qualified, but we just need that bragging rights to stay top of the group. Guinea-Bissau take on Sierra Leone and do that game. So how will you set up your team?
In goal, I put Adebayo Adeleye in goal.
So he starts again consecutively?
Yes, he will start. Yes. Goalkeeping position needs a lot of consistency. I will play Kavembasi and Olaina now. How do I do them? So I play Olaina and Kavembasi wide. Okay. Then we have Jamie Collins just came back. Tyrone Eboe also just came back now, and what's it called? So I'll play on the wide side, Kavembasi on the left, Olaina on the right. I think it will do well there. My center back pairing is what I'm thinking now.
I think Basi will play center back because I don't
want to play him as center back.
Looking at the second.
You're asking me my own.
No,
You're trying to superimpose Pesero's lineup on me. I'm getting the headache of doing my coaching job here. Allow me to earn my badge now. What's wrong with you? So Jordan is a center back, right?
Yeah.
Jordan, Bruno Yemechi, left back. Semi Ajayi. I'll play Semi Ajayi and Jordan. Torunariga and Semi Ajayi. I'm not going to play through second there. That one we're going to do like saying muscle. Not cause unnecessary goal. So I'll play Semi Ajayi and Jordan in my center back. Olaino and Kavibasi wide area. In midfield, I'll play 3 midfielders. So it's going to be a 4-3-3 formation that I'm playing. Yeah. I'll play Wilfred Ndidi at the base alongside Rafael Onyedika, and then I'll play Joe Aribo in front of them. I'll put Frank Onyeka on the bench first, because sometimes that guy be like diesel engine, you need a quick fire. And then in my attack, Ademola Lookman will be on the left. Moses Simon said not the one for the starting lineup, the squad at all, Manchester squad. I'll play Moses Ademola Lookman on the left. I'll play Boniface in the middle, and I'll talk to Gift Urban. I'll tell him play from the right. You're fast, you're quick. You're not a right wide player, but play from the right. Join the attack is 3 strikers, so that can work very well. So I get to there. Yeah. Now hold on. Now tactically, that's a selection. That's a formation. Now tactically, what I'll do is I'll get Ademola Lookman to always come into the midfield. So he's behind the 2 of them, Gift Urban and Victor Boniface. Victor Osimhen, my guy, is always my guy. He doesn't have any point to prove. Sit on the bench. Come in the second half after they don't walk these guys down. Come and score your 3 or 4, your hat trick and rest. But these are the people that I'll start. Reason being that I want to see Victor Boniface play in this team and try to integrate. I want to also see Gift Urban run and do all the things I want to do. Second half, I'll bring in Taiwo Awoniyi and Victor Osimhen. Maybe Kelechi Iheanacho and the rest of them, and see the game out. But that's the way I'll start my team.
All right. For me, I think the goalkeeping positions, I think Uzoro is back on suspension. And I want to start him, but I'll continue with Adebayo Adeleye. In goal, the fullback, I know as well starts at right back.
Yeah.
Eboyi makes his return, but I think he's going to get something off the bench. I think I know at right back. And left back, I'll play Bruno in which at left back. Let's have. I mean, it's from Pesero's home country.
Plays in Portugal. Yeah.
Plays in Portugal. I think he was close to move to Porto. I think Porto was trying to sell Sanusi, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's a ripple effect will have come into replace Sanusi. So yeah, centre back. I'll play Basi and Semi Ajayi. I think he's becoming the favorite of Joseph Pesero. So Semi Ajayi and Calvin Basi are centre back. Then in the midfield, of course, indeed he's going to start. I want to see more of Erik. The last time he was called, he didn't get any appearance. So I think this is Sao Tomé. I think Pesero should try one of a few things. I would want to try a few players as well. So Ndidi, Onyedika, and Ariba as well. So 3-man midfield. Then in the attack, Osimhen will sit out. And he needs to start from the bench. We still have the World Cup qualifier starting in November. So
absolutely.
More games. There's Lesotho coming up. More games for him to add to his goal tally if he wants to. So Osimhen sits out on the bench. I'll play Boniface in the middle. Ademola Lookman on the left wing forward, and maybe Gift Urban on the right. Awoniyi can come in from the bench. If the game doesn't need Osimhen, he might just sit it out entirely.
Who are your midfielders?
Ndidi, Onyedika, and Aribo.